Why be self-sufficient? Well, it's easy. There's a few different reasons that it's so important to me. One of the reasons is the population has gotten way out of control. I mean, there are a lot of people and not all that many resources considering how much of the land has become places for people to live instead of farmers growing food for the people. Our food comes from all over the place and you never know what's in the food. And that's another part that really bothers me. Right now they've taken cinnamon from different brands and wanting to take it off the shelf and have people be leery about eating it because it has a very high content of lead in it. Why would cinnamon have lead in it? Well, I guess different reasons. It could have to do with processing plants. If their machines are too old, it could be getting lead into the food by that. And cinnamon's not the only thing. There's a lot of other foods, even salts and different things that I've read up on where it's happening to that also. There's allegedly a certain percentage of lead that's okay in our foods. But yet if it's any higher than that, it's not okay. I guess lead really should not be in our diets at all, but it is a fact of life. What is in our foods kind of bothers me lately, whether it's animals, cows, chickens, all these things being brought up with tons of antibiotics and different hormones that make them grow faster. We eat that meat. It goes into our system, into our blood system and everything else and hits every little part of our cells in our bodies. Those cells are the ones that take care of our bodies and keep us from getting sick and different things. Well, if our cells aren't well, how are we supposed to be well? Which leads me to another thing, and that is, as far as myself, I have mixed connective tissue disease. It's an autoimmune disease. But I'm not the only one. There are just hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people who have autoimmune diseases right now. What I've noticed, our family does not eat good. You know, a lot of fast foods, fried foods, and all these different things, junk food, not eating a good diet. Since I've been studying the body, how it works, and everything else, how food plays and different things that you put into the body, I've learned a lot. And then on top of that, doing my own studying for years now of what's in foods, how it affects the body and everything else. So I did a big test. I decided that I was going to try eating clean. And that means just taking every little bad thing out of the food that you can possible, like no junk food, you know, no pre-packaged stuff that's ready to eat, no fast food, no fried food, no candy, no sodas, nothing that is highly processed. Things like that have chemicals in them that you can't even pronounce, or lots and lots of ingredients with weird sounding stuff in it. I went to eating things if they were packaged where the ingredients were very small, easy to understand, and very simple. If I wasn't eating something packaged, then I was eating just organic, healthy stuff, whether it's nuts, vegetables, fruits, all those kinds of things that are really healthy. And I will tell you, food makes a huge difference in your body and how it works, the pain, the everything. I went from being in excruciating pain all the time, especially where my muscles were so rigid and hard that it was just painful to move different ways. The fatigue level was phenomenal. I just felt like everything was such a challenge to do because I felt so weak. And what else? God, the brain fog, just so many different things that were going on symptom-wise that was not good. But when I started eating healthy, I would say it took like maybe 4 or 5 days, maybe a week at the most, and I could already start seeing some major difference where my body was starting not to hurt hardly, things were getting more flexible, I could think more clearly, I was feeling like I was having more energy, I wasn't so lethargic and fatigued feeling all the time, and I was sleeping better. Being a junk food junkie all my life, is really hard when you're trying to get away from those bad habits. So yes, I've gone back to where, okay, I started letting some different things in my diet, whether it was cakes or candy, sodas, chips, all these different things that I was so used to eating all of my life. I kind of ended up letting sneak back into my life. And I swear, just like going from eating bad to eating good, I saw a significant difference in the way my body felt. I started going backwards. Again, like within 3-4 days, I start feeling a major difference. It just kind of starts up and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until the point where if I don't turn myself around, I'm in so much pain and fatigued so severely. I'm not sleeping good or anything. And yet, I can turn that around and say, okay, enough's enough, which I did recently, and this is why I'm coming to you today, because I want to reinforce this to the world if I can, that food is a major factor in everyday life. It's going to make you sick or it's going to make you well. All the junk, all the chemicals and the stuff that they put in our foods is going to make you sick. It's going to cause you to get cancer. It's going to cause you to have nerve issues. You're going to have autoimmune disease issues, heart disease, diabetes. The list just goes on and on of what the foods, I mean, I'll call it foods in quotes because it's not real food. And the drinks, again, drinks. They're not good for us, and they're just filling them with a bunch of garbage. So who wants to eat garbage? When I really think of it deeply and what we're really putting in our mouths, I'm disgusted, really. I really am. I'm disgusted and so ashamed of the different companies, the big corporations that are putting these things in the foods and drinks for people like us to consume, and not caring about the consequences. It's all about the money in their pockets that they're getting from the consumers like us who go out there and buy their garbage and then consume them. I say do what's best for your body. Get away from the junk. Do like I'm doing. Get a little homestead going. If you live in an apartment, plant in pots. It works just as good. I mean, I'm sure they don't have anything against having food growing on your patio in pots or on your balcony. I'm just really to the point where it just grosses me out to think of what's in food and what it's doing to our bodies. I know that now that I went back to eating clean again, I'm already starting to feel so much better. It's not just a coincidence, it's real. It's real in what the food and drinks do to our bodies and whether it makes us sick or not. Give it a try. Go on a clean diet and get rid of all the junk in your diet and just eat like whole, clean foods, just from the source. Eat the nuts, not in candy and all that stuff. Just eat the good, healthy nuts. Eat the vegetables. Eat the fruit and not, apple pie. Whatever. Apple pie is good sometimes. Yeah, I get it. But eat a real apple. Clean up your diet, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to lose weight. For one, you're going to sleep better, you're going to feel better, you're going to have a whole lot more energy, and it's simply what you put in your mouth. Thank you for joining me today. I hope what I said was informational and helpful to you, and I'm hoping that it'll help you start your own food also. You don't really need a whole lot of room to do this. You could actually make a really fantastic garden of edible things with a 25 by 25 foot area. You could really do a lot with that. You plant on the ground, you make little teepees, you make arches for things to grow over. You could do so much. So these are some of the things that I'm going to share with you. There's a lot of YouTube channels out there trying to teach people what to eat, growing seeds, all these different things. Some of them are very rigid, but growing your food does not have to be so rigid like that. There's more than one way. There's not just a one right way. But I'm going to go over all these things, how you get things for super cheap and even free a lot of times. You'll be amazed at how many things I've gotten for free where I'm doing all my farming stuff with it. But I'll be sharing those things. Next week, what I'll do is I'll give you a tour around the farm. I'll show you a bunch of the things that I've done this far. I've already planted some of my little veggies, but not a whole lot of them. There's a whole lot more to go with that too. So I'll be sharing with you what's going on here, the things that need to be fixed, some of the projects that I'm in the middle of, and different things like that. And then the following week, I think we'll talk about planting seeds. It's really simple. You'll like it. Talk to you guys soon. I love you. God bless you. Stay well. Take care.